What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how to set your environments up so they're peak productivity environments? Most people have no clue how to do this. Well, I have good news for you. I've put together a special report showing you how to do this. Normally, it's $45, but since you're a loyal listener to the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time.
You're listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you want to step into your greatness, you've come to the right place. Here is your host, the human strength expert, Kyle Newell.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle once again with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. This is episode number 99. Normally, these are done on a Monday. They release on Tuesdays, but since we had the holiday, I didn't do any work on Monday. Thus, I'm doing it on a Wednesday. Hard to believe it's episode number 99. I think it's going to be a cool one for you, though. I'm going to start with some mind map principles. It's something that I've been writing about more lately and talking about more lately, and then I will get into some nutritional stuff. And that thing that I've been speaking about is the open loop theory. So the open loop theory is our brains need clarity to progress and move forward. A lack of clarity causes threat and stress to rise up. So think about any time you're walking into an environment where you're not familiar with the people there, you don't know what to expect, don't know what's going to happen. It's stressful. First time people come to Newell Strength, it's stressful. And we're very aware of this. The brain needs clarity. When you think too far out into the future, you get the anxiety gap, or the anxiety gap grows. The anxiety gap is the further out into the future you think, where there's less prediction and response, the more your anxiety grows because you don't know what to expect. You lack clarity. So how does that relate to the open loop theory? So the brain does not like open loops. It likes to have completion. It likes to know the next step. When something bad happens, or seemingly bad on the surface, because it's all good, right? It's all going to turn out to be well and good, and you're going to learn from it. Remember, you only lost if you don't know why you lost. But if something seemingly bad happens, all you have to do is say, what's great about this problem? What can I learn from this problem? Your brain will come up with an answer to whatever it is that you ask of it. When it comes to leadership, and a lot of you that listen to this are in positions where you might be leading a team, you're business owners, you're maybe a coach. Instead of pointing the blame and saying, oh, so-and-so didn't understand it, they don't get it. They just don't get it. The simplest way, after all the leadership books that I've read and all the things that I've learned, is you just have to ask yourself, what could I have done better? Where did I come up short with this person where I could have led them better? That's it. And you'll come up with an answer to that, and you go to work on that. So the open loop theory, use that to your advantage. Your brain will come up with an answer to anything that you ask of it. Stepping over $100 bills to pick up nickels when it comes to diet and nutrition and changing your body composition. The way I used to approach my weight loss when I would compete in bodybuilding and all this type of stuff, or just try to get into lower levels of body fat, I would go to the extreme. Yet, when I was doing that, I wasn't getting adequate sleep. I was stressed. And then I would diet harder and I would train harder, making the problem worse. If you've listened to the past few episodes, you know that one of my fitness goals for the year, which for this 90-day block, this quarter number 2, was to get to 10% body fat and then maintain that for the summer. Now, I'm very careful, as I said last week, when I set body composition goals, because it can put me into a bad area from when I used to compete in bodybuilding and body image issues and all that. So I'm very mindful of that and not falling back into that. That's why I didn't set an extreme goal. Remember, extreme goals aren't things that you can sustain, which goes to the point. If you're not doing something for your nutrition that's sustainable, if you're doing a diet that's not sustainable, why are you doing it? You're forcing physical results on something that you can't sustain. That pendulum, and the way the body works, it's a pendulum. Force it one way, it's going to come back just as far to the other side eventually. There's no way around that. If it's not sustainable, why are you doing it? Last week in my check-in, body fat actually crept back up. So I went from 14 down to 12, back up to 13. And I like to track everything. I learn when I do this, and I get to see how to apply different principles Now, body fat came back up. People might panic, and that's done with this in-body machine that we have at the gym. So everything's printed out. Everything is pretty cool on there. I'll explain the difference between that and biosignature in a minute. Yet my weight came down 2 pounds. Now, the old me would have said, damn, my body fat went up. Let's cut harder. Something changed under. My weight came down. There was one change. Good with that, which means no changes this week to my protocol. Keep the course. When you're making adjustments to your nutrition, you want the minimum effective dose, and this goes for your training as well. What is the least amount of change, if any, that's needed to get the next step, to get the next desired result? If you throw the whole kitchen sink at it right off the bat and you're doing junk volume cardio and low carbs, no carbs, there's nowhere to go once you stop running into results except to try to do more. The answer to overwhelm is never more. Your nutrition and your training should not make you feel overwhelmed. Your diet should not make you feel overwhelmed. It should not be something that's draining you. It should be something that's giving you life energy and vitality and strength and improving your mindset and your focus. If it's draining you, you're on the wrong path. Biofeedback. This is something I use, and I used to use more with bodybuilding. But when I have people that contact me privately that need help with nutrition, sometimes they're, for example, Citizen lives in New Zealand. I can't see him besides pictures, so we have to go based on biofeedback. Now, biofeedback, you have your external numbers, which are your weight, your body fat, waist measurement, these types of things, how you physically look. Biofeedback tells us a different story as well. That's equally as important, I should say. How is your energy? Is it up or down? How's your urination level? Is it up or down? When you're in fat loss mode, urination level is going to be up. That's something that I've seen across the board throughout the years that I've been doing this. How are your bowel movements? How's your sex drive? How's your sweat rate? How's your mindset? How's your performance? So we look at all these things. If those things are all hunky-dory and going the right way, we know we're on the right track. If those things are going the right way and we didn't see any physical changes, that's okay, because there's a lot of changes when we go to change our body that are happening on the inside that aren't visible and you're not going to see week to week. The changes come from the inside out. Just the way the body moves, how the body moves from the spine outwards. All movements start from the spine outwards. Physical changes in appearance start from the inside out. We got to get the body healthy first, which brings me to the main topic of stepping over $100 bills. What's up, Unlocking Your Inner Strength listeners? How would you like to know how to set your environments up so they're peak productivity environments? Most people have no clue how to do this. Well, I have good news for you. I've put together a special report showing you how to do this. Normally, it's $45, but since you're a loyal listener to the show, you can get it for only $10 at unlockingyourinnerstrength.com/time. As I said, when I used to really diet down, I'd want to do it in a rush. I would really want to get it over with. If you're going to get it over with, what happens when you're done? You revert back to being normal. Now, when I look at when I would compete in bodybuilding, many times I did 7 shows. All but the last time I competed in 2014, I would have a nasty rebound. I would gain 30 to 40 pounds within the next 3 days after the show because I forced it to do something too extreme, can't sustain it, go back to living normally, and you rebound. When I did that when I was still teaching, I remember the one contest in particular, I couldn't even keep my eyes open. I messed up my hormonal system so bad and my adrenal system so bad just from dieting to the extreme and going way too far over what I should have been doing because I had that mentality that more is better. It's not. If you're worried about getting up in the morning to do cardio for fat loss and you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, you're a moron. I'll repeat that. If you're worried about that you have to get up in the morning to do your cardio so you can lose fat, yet you're only getting 5 hours of sleep, you're a moron. Because sleep is where most hormonal changes take place for the body. Changing your body is not just about counting calories. That's what people want to simplify it to. It's the biochemical and hormonal environment of the body. How do we affect that? If you give somebody testosterone, their body's going to change, even without changing anything else, because you're affecting the hormonal system and the feedback loops of the body. So where can you get these $100 bills? Look at your sleep first. Look at your hydration. If you're worried about doing a keto diet, which most people completely misunderstand, but if you're worried about doing a keto diet and you're not taking in a gallon of water a day, Stupid approach. Stepping over $100 bills to pick up nickels. And while I'm on the topic of keto does not mean zero carb. That's part of it, or low carb. Keto is also fairly low on protein. It's about 90% fat. Most people cannot do a diet like that. And for most people, it's not warranted. Most people say, I'm just going to go low carb, I'm doing keto. No, you aren't, because your body, gluconeogenesis, your body converts protein into glucose. So that's completely misunderstood by most people out there. But if you're also looking at doing these crazy intense workouts where you walk out so drained and you're sore and you have DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, for days, and you think it was a great workout, but you're refusing to take time to have fun and relax in your life, you're not going about it right. I've talked about a lot lately how we developed the pizza pie of fitness. You have fun/play. You have relaxation. You have exercise, you have nutrition, you have learning, and you have sleep. They all need to be in balance if you're going to change your body. Look at what's happening internally with your body as well as external. It's not going to be a linear shot when you're trying to change your body. It's not going to be, let me start this diet. I'm going to give it a month and I'm going to be exactly where I'm going to be. I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a month, then I'll never have to do it again. Get rid of that line of thinking. This is the what my old coach Scott Abel calls the North American approach to dieting and fitness. The Western world. It's a process. Take time with it. Is it enhancing your life? That's what you have to ask. Now, last thing I'll touch on, I mentioned biosignature before. We used to do biosignature on everybody that would come to the gym. It's a very cool software. It's pretty spot on. Charles Poliquin had developed this software after working with thousands of professional athletes and Olympic level athletes and working with their doctors, looking at hormones. So each site corresponds to different hormones. We still do it on certain people that need that level of detail. But one of the things, the first two sites that we would check on biosignature are the cheek and the chin. Now, they don't correspond to any hormones. But what Charles had taught us was, even if nothing else changes, if these two change, if these two are coming down, you're on the right track. And you'll notice that when people lose weight, when they gain weight, the first spot you're going to see it is in their face, right? So fat loss, from what I've seen, typically happens chin and cheek, so the face, limbs. Legs are a little trickier, but arms, and it works inwards. So my point with that is you might see a change in your face and your nothing else might have changed. Your weight might not have changed. Your belt size might not have changed. It's okay. You're on the right track. Minimum effective dose when you're trying to make changes to your body. Do something that's sustainable. If it's not sustainable, it means you're taking a willpower-based approach. Willpower-based approach, if you know how the brain works, means that you can't form habit around what it is that you're doing. The brain will not form habit around willpower-based stuff. Willpower-based stuff is doing stuff that you don't want to do, which is different than having discipline. So a lot of stuff within this one. Make sure you're getting your sleep and your hydration. You're eating good, nutritious foods first. Then worry about dialing in your nutrition and adding an extra training day in and all that type of stuff. There should be a hierarchy here. If you like this, please share it with somebody. If you get a chance, please leave a review on iTunes. It helps me out greatly. And I'll be back next week with episode number 100. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
You've been listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you enjoyed the show, remember to subscribe, rate, and review us in iTunes.